I'm Mikael Togeby, and I'm a partner in air and energy analysis. Been working in this company for 11 years. We are doing energy planning, and we are working with governments in Denmark as well as internationally. We are working in Mexico and China and Africa. It's really about the development of the energy system that is our world. And it's not super technical, it's on the broad term, what can really be done, for instance, in the electricity sector in the next 20 or 40 years. So it's a long perspective that we focus on. And the model that we are using, it's called Balmoral, and that's an open source model, so they can keep the model. There's no license for the model, and which is a very good thing. The very interesting thing is that we are not looking for only one plan, the real plan. We are developing scenarios, and there you can see that is how costly is it to be more advanced? What are the different options? How is wind really integrating in the system? What kind of transmission investment do you need if you have a lot of wind? And how is it about curtailment of wind and solar? That's a common concern. In some period you have too much generation and you need to stop the generation of wind and solar. Of course that is a costly solution because you have invested in wind and solar and then you cannot produce. So this is an example of integrating renewable energy in the electricity system. That is quite important. And the thing is that the electricity system is special. The electricity system needs to be balanced in each second. So for instance, in Cuba, if there's a wind power in the south of Cuba, the entire system must balance. So some other generation must stop generating when the wind is generating. And that's the reason why we need some special models for the electricity sector, because the system must balance in each second. And that's very important when we include wind and solar, because they have this, they generate when there are wind and solar available. We have used it for 17 countries in Europe. We have a model for the entire China. It's doing optimal dispatch in China, which is really quite a thing. And we have also so we have it for Mexico, we have it for Canada, and we have it for Africa. So we have, our Mexico project is very interesting. We have been making energy scenarios for the Mexican electricity system all the way to 2050. So we have computed a possible development of the Mexican electricity system until 2050. We have some scenarios where we use the current goals in Mexico, the current goals for energía limpia, for clean energy. And then we have some where we delete this goal, and we have others where we meet the goal faster than what is the current plan. In Mexico, we are working with the CENER, which is the Ministry of Energy, and also with the university, and also with SENACE, which is the transmission system operator in Mexico. And I'm sure they're interested in, I know they are interested in interconnection to neighboring countries. Cuba is kind of, electricity-wise, it's kind of the same size of Denmark. And there's a lot of things you can investigate. One example is, what would the benefit be of a connection between Cuba and Mexico? So that's the kind of the thing the model can answer, the economic benefit of such a connection. But it can also study what is the limit for wind and solar in the Cuban system. So the Cuban system is a relatively small system, it's an islanded system. So the amount of wind and solar can be a challenge in a small system. It's more easy in a bigger system to integrate more wind and solar, and that's why I'm mentioning the interconnector, for instance, to Mexico. I think there's a long tradition of cooperation between Mexico and Cuba, and I'm sure there can be some cooperation there.